fine. It was a cursory, cordial conversation.
Do you plan to collect taxes on Goodslots and non-natives on reservations?
I intend to collect all the revenues that the state is entitled to collect.
Governor, on Medicaid, right now there are $12 billion in optional programs. $10 billion deficit, that might be one way to solve it. Is it fair that people on Medicaid, for the most part, have better insurance coverage than people in the private sector who pay for their own?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we're trying to do all across the board is literally rationalize these programs. You know, we have the highest taxes in the nation. We're paying more for these programs than any other state is paying for these programs. We're not getting any better results. So we're not even getting what we're paying for. And that's what this, we call it a budget process, but it's more than a budget process. These situations have gone on for decades. And they have been unanswered, and we're using this moment in time to actually make the tough decisions that should have been made for years. First of all, the rate of spending in this state is unsustainable. The gaps are getting larger and larger. We just spend too much money, and the state isn't bringing in that much money anymore. So we're going to have to rationalize our spending, and we're going to have to get more results for what we actually pay for. And that's the Medicaid program, that's education, that's right across the board. But it is unfair, it has been unfair for a long time, and that's what the next few months will be about rationalizing. My message inside is, if it's going to change, it's going to change because the people of this state rise up and make their voices heard. It's not going to change if the conversation is the same conversation that happens in the Capitol in Albany for the past 10 years. The special interests will win if the conversation is in the hallways of Albany. The lobbyists will win the way they've won every year for the past 10 years. So my message to the people of the state is you have to speak up, you have to rise up. Democracy only works when you make it work. And when are we going to change Albany? When the people of this state demand change. I hope we're going to use the energy in this crisis to mobilize the people of this state to actually make a difference.
The county executive of Erie says that since counties pay into Medicaid, the county should decide which optional services are covered. He wants a bill introduced that would give counties more leeway if they want to cover dentures or eyeglasses or all the non-mandated services.
Yeah, that's an idea. A lot of people have ideas on how to cut Medicaid. I put together a group, and we're going to be looking at the best of them.
Governor, on getting back to Medicaid, right now there's unlimited usage of ambulances. We have figures, people taking the ambulances to the ER 100 times, 150 times a year. Is that right?
Are there abuses of the program? There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But again, there are also a lot of institutions that make a lot of money from the program, right? We have a $137 billion budget in this state. So there's a lot of money, and a lot of institutions and a lot of players have been making a lot of money. Of course it's not right. Of course the level of spending is unsustainable, and the people of the state haven't been getting their money's worth. But it's the people of the state speaking up which is actually going to stop it. I said, actually, I was thinking about it on the way here, during my campaign, last time I was here was during my campaign, I used to say, this is not about me, it's about we. I'm not going to get elected and the new governor comes and waves a wand and suddenly everything changes. It will change when the people get mobilized and demand change. And that's what has to happen.
Governor, is that why you started the tour here? Because typically the governor has gone to the larger cities to begin a tour, a campaign like this.
Yes, that's right. Typically, first I'm trying to do what's not typical because the typical doesn't work. And I'm purposely reaching out to places all across the state that in many ways have been alienated from Albany, haven't had the connection, and I want to change that. I also believe as a general rule, the attitude of the state government is in Albany and you're supposed to come to Albany when you want to deal with the state government. No, I work for the people of this state. I work for the people of Jamestown. It's my obligation to go to Jamestown. And that's what I'll be doing.
One more, guys. You were introduced by a Republican state senator today, which I think is unusual for most events. You know, usually a Democrat would be introduced by the prominent local Democrat. What should people read into that?
What they should read into that is I was introduced by a New Yorker today who happened to be a Republican. I was with other New Yorkers who happened to be Democrats. I want to invert the emphasis. I don't want to emphasize the political parties.
Is that what you did with your breakfast this week at the mansion?
That's what I'm doing all across the board. I want to de-emphasize the political party, emphasize the commonality as New Yorkers. Because if the political rifts continue, we're going to fail once again. If all the Democrats go to one corner, and all the Republicans go to the other corner, and they both play their party politics, we lose. I happen to be a Democrat. I also ran as an independent. I want to work with people on both sides of the aisle. I'm a New Yorker first.